Welcome, welcome. This is gonna be a short stream, mainly for video, as I gotta talk about the CDL before I get in my Skyrim playthrough. Up next, I want to watch this scene real quick before I go into the games today. If you haven't watched it, the process came out during the matches. So here's Hecz talking about a little situation.
Spoke to the leadership team, business leadership team at Seattle Surge on a Friday. We were told one price. By Wednesday, that price had increased. So we met that price again. On Friday, we met that price again after it went up a third time. Okay? And from the beginning, if they would have said something along the lines of, hey, we think Pred is a franchise player that we want to keep, so there is no money that you can offer us that's going to make a difference enough for us to make this move, then I would have understood and I would have said, you know what, I appreciate that, thank you. I get it 100%. But the fact that we sort of got tugged along for a week is what I don't appreciate, right? I don't do business that way, and I am surprised that they do business like that, right? Because these are seasoned sports people. What I don't appreciate is just not being told the truth from the beginning. If it would have been like, hey, we love Predator, but he's not going anywhere because we like the way he sneezes. I don't care. It would have been I would have understood. There's no amount of money that is ever going to make me give away Shotzi, right? Period. But I'll say that right away. If it wasn't about the money, then why go through this like entire week of negotiation, right? It just didn't make any sense to me. I was very disappointed. But people are gonna do what people do, and it is what it is. I think Pred would have fit well into our system. He wanted to join. That's a fact. And everybody had agreed to everything, and then at the last minute, the rug got pulled from underneath us. And as much as I want to say I understand, I just can't bring myself to say that. So it is what it is, and now we know how. Now we know how they operate. So
there you have it. That's some big news right there from Hecz. Hearing him talk with this background music makes me pretty sad, not gonna lie. I really like Hecz. Optic will always be on the forefront of esports because they're willing to make content which actually brings connection to the players, to the organization. And with Hecz here, I am from the Northwest. That's why I am Soy Squatch. It's part of the reason. And so I like the Seattle Surge. I do. You'll notice that I mainly talk about the Surge and Optic, as Optic is like the first brand that I ever watched, or came into contact with, as they're one of the only ones making content. I also like, who would have guessed it, LA Thieves, as they are the only other org who makes content. We have seen the Surge and the LA Gorillas kind of coming in. Florida has a strong Twitter game and stuff like that, but all these things kind of suck to hear from a Surge fan. I'm also an Optic fan, so like it's a kind of double whammy here. As if Pred left, I would have been totally fine. Pred is the only reason why the Surge have had any upside here in the league, and without him, the Surge would suck so bad. So he's like our only saving grace. But I was like, in my head, even though I like the Thieves, I don't really like the Thieves. I mean, I like Octane from the Surge. He went to the Thieves. I like the ownership of the Thieves. So I'm okay with them. It's not like I root for them. I do enjoy watching them because of that stuff. But like, this is the only other team I'd be okay with. So if Pred was going to leave, I was saying I would be okay if Pred went to Optic, okay? So that's what was happening. And then I never thought it was going to happen, but we didn't know the insight. It's very apparent Hecz thought for sure that Pred was going to go. And, it brings this whole aspect of business and business ethics. Like, maybe, I don't know if Hecz probably hasn't talked to Surge, the Surge management and the business side, about the whole situation, explaining the whole situation, and getting their full aspect. Like, maybe as they were going through the process, they were actually okay with moving him. They had the thought, they just weren't fully going in. And then as the conversation progressed, they just never got to that point where they never got to the point of everyone agreeing on the business side, the coach, and they just never happened. Which that's very possible. It's like they were planning on it, just never got through, or they were just trying to work their money, work the money up as much as they can, and then when they got to the price they wanted, they're still just not okay with it. Like, regardless of how it happened, this entire because this all happened within the season between Major 1 and 2, it royally screwed up Optic. I think, there are some good reports about Kyler playing with Optic right now and their chemistry, but I just have such a hard time believing they're actually going to be able to perform Major 2, at least in the qualifiers for sure. At least for the qualifiers, I have a hard time believing they're going to perform, and a lot of this can probably come back to Pred and the Surge boy. Okay, not Pred. It's not Pred's fault. Pred wanted to go. He was willing. It wasn't him. It was up to the Seattle business partners. Because of them, this whole thing is going to screw up Optic, and I think the Optic hatred bandwagon is going to go from Minnesota Rucker way over to the Seattle Surge camp. I don't think it's even going to be close. I could just see the Optic fans start just railing on Surge. And I think this could be a good time for a prediction that I think after watching... Let's go real quick. So if you watch Real Sports, and you watch Undisputed, you know that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, all they ever talk about is the Cowboys, because that's who Skip Bayless likes. And so I'm mainly going to talk about the Surge and Optic throughout all this stuff. I do talk about everyone else, and I will talk about them, but I'm going to spend most of my time on the things I actually like the most, so that I get excited more so than talking about the Ravens, for example, who sucked today. It was bad. Like, overall match stats. Nasty 0.7. Okay, Scrap's not as bad as I thought. I guess that first game. No, he wasn't as bad as I was expecting going in. But yeah, stats again do not show everything. But one boy I want to highlight is Scrappy. I think going back throughout the year, we're gonna start seeing. I think we've got to start seeing more rookies get picked up. Oh, you probably can't see this. Hold on. Not bad. Let's move me down here. Okay. So, yeah, here's Scrappy. 1.38. He not only does he get the kills and the KD, he backs it up with great influential moments. I think with seeing Pred and Sib go off last year, but then also seeing Scrappy here go off, we've got to see more rookies come in. I think players, I don't want to go and give names, but just those veteran players who always come in and out and always are just doing all right and they always get benched. I think those players have got to go. We've got to see new people who want to come in and actually perform. For me, I feel like COD, even though I've never been a professional, COD is so much of it is between your ears. It's in your head, kind of like baseball. All these players have a great talent. It's just, do you have the right drive to do it? I've heard a lot of people saying ever since the CDL era that maybe people are getting to, with the salaries and whatnot, they're not as driven as before, during the Patrick Price days, way back in the day, Black Ops 2, Black Ops, they had to win to make money. Nowadays, they just have this good salary, so they're living cush. Who knows? And the players know if that's the case, but from everything I've seen, they all just seem so driven, so it's hard for me to say that, but, I just think with seeing Scrappy's rise, we've got to see some more rookies. So, yeah, again, 3-0. Not much else to go over. Next up, we only have 3 matches today. We got Minnesota Rocker versus Boston Breach. I was not expecting this to go down this way. I was expecting a 3-2, as the Rocker actually, were pretty good during the last major. Look at the stats. Awakening on a 1.74. After the first map, he was on a literal heater. You could see him sweating his nuts off. And then Attach was always making these influential plays. Cammy, the old Toronto boys are kind of weak sauce right now, which sucks. I know Bance has been having some issues this year. But then to see Cammy go to 0.59, That's Jimbo numbers of last year. Like, that's not good at all. But Breach truly had their way. I don't know. I hope this isn't a sign to come of the Minnesota Rocker. Let me move my thing over here. Yeah, I hope this is not a sign of the Minnesota Rocker to come, because the more competition we have, just the better it is. And if teams like Minnesota, who have all these good players, start just crapping the bed, it really brings down the whole league, just in terms of excitement. But yeah, Hardpoint, Awakening. Let's just see Awakening stats here. Yeah, 1.7. He dropped to 1.7 on that one. That's the one I was like, he's wrecking it like a wrecking ball. And then what else we got here? 0.4 from Bance. No bueno. 3-0. That's right. 3-0 control. Just not good numbers all around. Breach. You might be making your way back, or who knows? You never know with the Breach. Lastly, my Seattle Surge against the Vegas Legion. This is a really hard pill to swallow. However, I'm going to come at you with a peaceful take that I'm going to console myself. Last year we saw the lowest point of the Surge's season last year was when we lost to the Vegas Legion in Major 2 qualifiers. No. We lost to the Legion in Major 2, the actual tournament bracket. At that point, I was like, screw the Surge, dude. We're never going to get... it was like a really rough go there for a while. And with this match, this Legion team is much better than the other one, so we have some hope here. But here's what I'm going to take with me past this week. I am no longer going to care about the Seattle Surge online performance. I'm not going to care about it. I just cannot care. Because this is a total LAN performance team. They've never, throughout the history of this squad of Accuracy, Max, Sib, and Pred, for Killers, for Slayers, I don't think they've ever pulled off a 4-0 qualifier or a 5-0 qualifier. They've always, they had, maybe one good qualifier where it's and I think that was the time we actually went to the finals, I believe. But, we went to the finals and kickoffs. We were third in champs. So I'm just not going to care about qualifiers anymore. I just can't. To see these numbers throughout the match, I saw Mac make some pretty good influential plays. I'm surprised he had a .82. TJ Halley, the .73, that is not a surprise at all. He was... I feel like he was more in the blender, just always taking crap. Every time he'd be staring one corner, then once the Surge guy got around, he peeks away, right? He's just getting completely terrible COD timings. So, but still, to see that throughout a whole entire match, TJ Halley definitely was the worst player throughout this match. We could say probably the worst on the roster. Clayster's having his way. Always fun to watch. And then, yeah, just a sucky game, honestly, all around. Everything was tight except for the S&D and the control. 250, 241. This was a fun match. It really came down to that ending P1. Who was willing to forget P2 and just get the time? I'm shocked that Vegas wasn't pushing harder for it. They seem to just be trying harder to get Surge off it and go to P2. But that's a full 60 seconds, you idiots. You can't just give it up. So after that, I thought, okay, Surge, we're gonna control this. I have no confidence. No confidence whatsoever in the Surge search and destroy game ever. Just awful. It's almost unbearable to watch. To see these players do so well and work so well as a team, trade off each other and holding each other's angles. It's just not weird. Weird's the wrong word, but I just have such a higher hope that they will actually be able to perform on searches when they do so well in the respawn modes. But yeah, this search and destroy, that could have easily been a 6-0. That was terrible. The control, Surge, started off a little slow, but we got it going. Pred, I guarantee his numbers. Yeah, 1.2. Okay. This map, go back and watch. If you're a sub player, go back, watch this map, and watch Pred. Whenever Pred comes up, watch him. He will give you a perfect example of how to play control, SMG. He was literally a one-man army. Without him, we would have lost. he pulled us through by himself. Actually, did have some clutch plays though. I'll give accuracy that. And then this one really like the Surge really did feel in control, even though the score was always close. It always felt like we were the ones on top of the rotations. We were the ones slaying out. We were the ones holding the point a little better. The Vegas would always break in around 30 seconds, 20, high 20 seconds. But then at the end, they just wet the bed again. So when this match started, I thought there's no chance we're going to win. Because, I know that the announcer said Legion is like 5-0 on this map. We're probably 0-4, 0-5. We suck. Sorry, Surge, you suck on this map. And, to see Pred going off like this is nice. He really is. If you're talking about a superstar player, you need someone who can go throughout every. I can just click on anything. Okay, not that one. I already clicked on. Let's click on anything. I guarantee Pred. Okay, Pred did not do good here. That was a bad example. Okay. Anyways, Pred doing well. He always is Mr. Consistent. He's so good, but we suck at S&D. I mean, there's no other way around it. And give your flowers to Clayster. Clayster tweeted afterwards saying he feels like he's back. He's back to it or whatever he was. So whatever. I mean, looking and that sucks. I mean, that's all I gotta say about that. That freaking sucks. But going to the future, let's see the schedule for tomorrow. Saturday, January 14th. Yep. Okay. Florida LAG. I expect. Ooh. I'm going to go Florida. I could see LAG taking a while as they got 3 new players coming in from challengers. However, I do expect them to challenge the CDL world. I do. Next, if they can work with Alec. They got to work with Alec. He's the leader. You got to follow his balls. Okay, next up, you got Minnesota Rocker, London Royal Ravens. 2 teams who wet the bed. I'm going to go Minnesota. London looked... I don't know. I just... The stats on London weren't as bad in terms of the overall map count. Like, not map count, the... each individual match didn't look as bad as I remembered, but Minnesota's going to be better. Guaranteed. Next up, FaZe Surge. You've got... even though Surge always give FaZe a run for their money, actually, because of that last map, and Surge are going to be pissed at themselves. So, maybe let's go... I'm still going to go... We'll go with... I think they'll win control. They'll eke out the hard point, and then they'll lose the rest of them. So, yeah, we'll go 3-2. FaZe is going to win that one. I think Surge is going to come back hot, but being hot is not enough to beat FaZe. You have to be literally on fire. And then last up, we got the Thieves versus Subliners. These last 2 matches will be so fun. Everyone, there better be 200,000 in the freaking Twitch for this, because that's 4 of the top 5 teams. Probably Toronto in there, probably above Surge at this point. But yeah, so Thieves, Subliners. Based off of last major, you have to go Subliners. Thieves looked a little off. Subliners looked hotter than hot. So yeah, there you have it. Florida, Minnesota, FaZe, Subliners. Write it down. If you gamble, write that down, because that is going to get you all the way to the end. Look at this match, though. FaZe Surge. This is probably a little biased because it is Surge, but I even saw people tweeting about it after the last match, last major. This is like the most fun match you can ever watch, because both our Mac always goes off against FaZe. Pred is always going off. So you got two hot SMGs going against 2 hot SMGs, physically and in the game. And to see them go off on each other like that is so fun to watch. Plus, Celium is anchoring the whole thing. Sorry, Slasher is anchoring it with accuracy, anchoring it. And that was Celium last year, but usually Arcides. And just to see that whole format go down of those 2 anchors with the hot SMGs in the middle, we just really match up well against each other. And then Sib can give Celium a good run for his money. Celium is better, but it's just a great match. So there you go. There you have it. And then for the Optic fans next week, Optic versus Boston. Boston looked very good. And that's like the only good match on Sunday. 2:30. This is Mountain Standard Time. So, yeah, this will be a fun one to see. I do not know who will win. If what Shotzi says about Kyler and how they actually are kind of going off together, if that is true, hey, we can have some confidence in it. Maybe they can do something good. I just really hope so. I'd really hate to see Scump go out his last year without a single championship or anything. But, yeah, this would be a great test. Honestly, there's probably no better eye test right now because I don't think Boston plays tomorrow. Nope. And seeing them come off 3-0, it's going to be really good to see. This would be a great eye test game for Optic so they can understand how to go forward. So, and even though it might be rough, I probably predict a 3-1 here. But, yeah, there's your matches. Everything looks awesome going forward. So, okay, that's it for this stream and video. I'm going to turn on my Skyrim stream right after this. Thanks for watching. Bless you.